All right, super chat again. Okay, Mark starts us off with some more questions here. Anytime you use a super chat, your question gets answered immediately. Jimmy G has a bad game or two. Do we have a controversy? Good Lord, no. I mean, it depends on how bad a bad game or two is. Yeah, if Jimmy Garoppolo goes straight Nathan Peterman and throws 5 interceptions in back-to-back games and stinks against the Eagles and Dolphins, sure, you might have a quarterback controversy. Because Nick Mullens, again, bless his little heart, was pretty good on Sunday. He's not a bad backup quarterback. He's actually pretty darn good. Look at the numbers. Now, it was against the Giants and then, of course, second half against the Jets, so we're not going to sit here and pretend like he's some superstar backup quarterback. I mean, it's not a Nick Foles scenario. But at the same time, I don't think there's any quarterback controversy, again, unless you have a situation where Jimmy Garoppolo stinks. And then not like 2 touchdowns and 2 picks and they lose by 7. More like 0 touchdowns, 5 picks, they lose by 25. Then we have a controversy, so I don't see it happening. Great chat, though. It's a question people want to know, but I don't. So. Jaden Hatcher says, is that Russ? It is Russ in an OKC jersey. Wow, throwback. $2 here. I appreciate that. Do you see any difference in offensive defensive scheme? Is that from a difference this year or a difference on Sunday against the Eagles? See a difference in offensive defensive scheme? I think so far the offensive defense has been very similar to what they were last year. We mentioned they're playing a lot more man with Sherman out. That's just what they do when Sherman's not in there. Not a big deal. But the offense looks very similar. Remember last year, until they traded for Emmanuel Sanders, they struggled at wide receiver. And guess what? With Deebo out, they're struggling at wide receiver. So they're trying to run the football, get those backs involved a little bit more. So, I don't see that big of a difference. But I appreciate the question there. And I'm sorry that Russell Westbrook's not a OKC Thunder guy anymore. Bummer. Next question here. Oh, look, a $5 dono super chat from David. David, I appreciate that again. I appreciate you being a little fan. David's always commenting, and he's like fan number 1 here for the 49ers report. If Michael Hasty can stay healthy, comeback player of the year, maybe 100%. This is I'm trying to think of another player that could win comeback player of the year right now. I can't think of one because I'm sure there are multiple players in the running right now. But listen, so far, knock on wood, McKinnon's look good. Now, he needs to get better running in between the tackles. Again, that's something that he did well back in his Viking days. Right now, he's been great catching the football out of the backfield. I need to see more of him running the football up the middle, and you're going to get to see more of him because Mostert and Coleman are not going to be back, I don't think, on Sunday. So it looks like you're going to have McKinnon as the starter on Sunday against the Eagles. Fun fact, the last time McKinnon played in a non-Niner jersey was the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia against the Eagles in 2017. Make sure you guys are subbed, though, because I'm telling you, Thursday's video is going to have updates on as many guys as we can get you updates on. So most likely you'll have an update on Garoppolo, on Kittle, on Deebo, on, let me think about this here, Mostert, Coleman. We're going to have a ton of overall updates on our Thursday video. So listen, you're most likely subscribed, and if you are, just pat yourself on the back and say, Thomas, I got it, I'm good. Okay. If you're not, though, what are you doing, right? This is the best 49er channel on YouTube by far, right? I mean, come on, this is the best one we have. Click the big red subscribe button down below. Notification bell where you're notified for the latest news and rumors, as we always do every week here on the 49ers Report. Next question here comes from Matthew, who says, honest opinion on Jeff Wilson Jr., how many total yards this week? Wilson Jr. wasn't that great on Sunday. Wasn't that great. He had a good screen pass, touchdown, and he had a good run there at the goal line. He had 18 points in fantasy, and I started him in my fantasy league for that exact reason. I wanted more from Jeff Wilson Jr. I thought he'd be a better runner, as we saw last year whenever he filled in, but it's week 1 in his mind because this is his first time actually playing. So I think we'll see more of him. Total yards, he'll probably be at 100 on Sunday, especially if Coleman and Mostert don't go. But it's not like we're going to get some sort of, 150-yard outburst from him because I didn't see a lot on Sunday. It wasn't bad, but he really had one good play, the nice catch there, the rushing touchdown, but it was really easy screen pass, and I think I could have had a touchdown on that one. So, he's fine. But again, backup running back for a reason. There's a reason he was number 4 on the depth chart going in here, but still good to have him because 4 on our depth chart is probably 2 on someone else's depth chart overall. Who do you guys hate the most? Oh, this is a good question right here. Who do you guys hate the most in the National Football League? Dallas, Seattle, the Rams, or the Raiders? Do Niner fans hate the Raiders that much? I guess, I know that we obviously are in close proximity, but I think the hate is a lot more there for the Seattle Seahawks or the Rams because they're inside the division, right? Now, I'm biased. I'm not a big Cowboy fan. Just personally, just not a big. The Cowboys just get so much talk and so much hype and so much ESPN and First Take and America's Team, and yet they always stink. They stink. They always lose. They never live up to expectation. I get tired of it. They're 8-8 every single year. It's like, Cowboys, Super Bowl favorites. Oh, look, they're 8-8. Cowboys, this is the year. 8-8. I'm so tired of them. So I type Dallas. But listen, Seattle is probably the biggest threat right now in the National Football League. The Rams are no fun either. Sean McVay takes his shirt off every time he's on camera. That gets a little bit annoying. So type who you think is the most hated team. Who do you guys dislike the most? I would say Seattle, but I'm also biased. Can't stand the Cowboys. If you're a Cowboy fan, fun fact, we have a great Cowboy channel, the Cowboys Report here at Chat Sports, and Tom Downey does a fantastic job covering that. I just can't stand the Cowboys, so I cover the 49ers and not the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. David says here, what is the one position that we should trade for the play? Who should we trade for at the deadline? I mean, right now you have so many injuries, and so it's hard to determine if you actually need a wide receiver, or if you actually need a pass rusher, if you actually need a cornerback. I mean, look at the D-line injury list right now. Look at the people just on the defensive line who are injured. It's like 5 people, and they're all good players, and it's too much. Now, they went out and signed people, so hopefully they'll be fine overall. Right now, though, I need to see more of the 49ers before I can actually sit here and go, oh, trade for a wide receiver, or oh, trade for a cornerback, or oh, this and that. So I don't know. I don't think we need to, honestly. I think the 49ers are a good football team. I don't think we need to just go out and trade for somebody just to trade for somebody, because the odds are, I think they're going to be just fine. Rohit, I think that's how you say that name, says, is Mosley the right option at cornerback, or should we the 49ers draft a corner? If Ward is injured long-term, 49ers sign Earl Thomas. Wow, it took this long to get an Earl Thomas question. That's interesting. So let's skip to the Earl Thomas part, because I think Mosley is the right option whenever he's healthy, but I wouldn't rule out drafting a cornerback. Earl Thomas left the Texans without a deal. And there was a report I saw just before I went live, he's not going to be a Texan. So Earl Thomas remains a free agent. Now, Cowboy fans will say, go sign him. The problem with Earl Thomas is you have to then bench Tart, who's been okay, but you also have to put him in a locker room and then hold your breath and hope he doesn't screw it up. That's the problem with Earl Thomas. That's why Earl Thomas is unsigned right now. Is he a great player? Yes. Could he help your team? Yes. Could he also ruin your team? Yes. If the Baltimore Ravens, who are a fantastic locker room, a fantastic coach, a fantastic organization, they're good top to bottom. They're clean top to bottom in terms of team. If he couldn't work there, is he going to work anywhere else? It's the same problem with Dez. It's the same problem with Antonio Brown, right? The risk to reward is just too great. There's too much risk for him coming in and disrupting your team, and you don't want to have a guy punch another teammate week 8 in the National Football League when you're trying to win a division, right? Just too much. He's a good player. The Niners sign him. I would find a way to make it exciting, and I think he would be exciting because he's a good player. But it's a lot of drama. It's just a lot of drama, and I'm not a big drama guy with my locker rooms. I like my locker rooms to love each other and not punch each other in the face like Earl Thomas did to his fellow safety, by the way, in practice. Goodness gracious. Next question here. Equan says, who do you think have a better season, Deebo or Ayuk? So it will be Deebo if he ever gets back on the football field. And as we talked about in our rumor video just a couple of minutes ago, and obviously later on, depending on whenever you watch this, Deebo is probably not going to play on Sunday against the Eagles. That could, right? But it looks like Ian Rappaport is saying he's going to play against the Miami Dolphins. When Deebo's out there, he's the better receiver. Brandon Ayuk has been fun. He's been decent. He's got some nice slant passes, but he's still a rookie. And rookie wide receivers tend to struggle, as we all know and understand. So Deebo is the guy. He's the number one wide receiver. He's the guy that you want to have on your football team. I think he'll be the number one option. And if and when he's going to be back out there, which hopefully is sooner rather than later, because he can have stats like this and probably greater stats than this in 2020 if we can just get him healthy. And again, the hope is maybe Sunday against Philadelphia. I'm recording this video, but it's still up in the air. More information to come in the coming days. But I think the hope is week 5 against the Miami Dolphins for your first game for Deebo Samuel. Hopefully soon, though, because darn it, I have him on my fantasy team. I want to see him play. I just really want to see him play. Justin with a super chat. Super chats immediately get thrown up, as you see on our screen right there. How many sacks, interceptions week 4? The Eagle O-line against the who did they play week 1? I'm trying to remember back to who they played week 1. It was the Washington football team had 8 sacks of Carson Wentz in week 1. And week 2 against Aaron Donald, 0 sacks. And last week, I think 1 sack of Carson Wentz. They've gotten better. They've gotten better at protecting him. And so as you look at something like that, I don't think that it's a question or a concern overall. And so I think that as we sit at it and as we look at it, a couple of sacks. Carson Wentz has thrown 2 interceptions, so maybe 2 overall. I had a low battery warning there on my laptop. That's annoying. Should be fine though. Roddy says, should we get Clay Matthews? Could. but they signed Ziggy Ansah instead of Clay Matthews. So they looked at Clay Matthews, and they potentially could have signed him, but they wanted Ziggy Ansah instead, which I think is not really a surprise. So Clay Matthews is old. He was good last year, but at the same time, do they need him? No, I think they're going to see what they got in Ziggy. I think Ziggy's going to go ahead and be that guy for them to fill in with all the injuries that they've had up to this point on the defensive line, which obviously is a lot of injuries. Okay. Like the video if you are excited for Sunday. I know you guys are, not just because it's another 49er game. Like the video because it's Sunday football, prime time, right? Whether it's Jimmy G, Nick Mullens, Mostert, whoever it is playing out there, get to see them live on NBC. Chris Collinsworth and obviously Michael Shelton called the game. My favorite broadcast guys. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Give this video a thumbs up right now. That way you can